Casey Hilliard, welcome to the Farm Traveler Podcast again. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we were just chatting. We had you on for episode 10, so it's been like 105 episodes. So it's kind of cool. We're going to learn more about what CARES is doing and all that stuff. So before we dive into that, give us a quick little background again about what the whole CARES program is.
Absolutely. So, Florida Farm Bureau's CARES program is a statewide stewardship recognition program. It's been in existence for just over 20 years. We're actually post COVID, we're going to try to celebrate our 20th anniversary in person, hopefully in September. But this program really is that feel good thank you for farmers and ranchers and their extensive efforts to protect our environment. And Farm Bureau, along with the Swanee River Partnership, created it to just help raise awareness for what farmers and ranchers are doing to reduce water use, reduce fertilizer and chemical use, and ultimately protect water quality, which is going to be a lot about what we talk about today. So that's a
Hey,
little program.
yeah, that's awesome. So August is the start of National Water Quality Month, and I know here in Florida, water is a hot commodity. It's super important to our ecosystem, to farmers, to residents, and stuff like that. So, what exactly are you guys doing for National Water Quality Month? To kind of raise awareness for what farmers are doing for water.
Yeah, so it definitely is an annual campaign. And to be honest, it typically, especially on the national level, does not do a good job of incorporating agriculture's contributions for water quality protection and those efforts that are involved. And so, uh, as we've participated each year, I've tried to really grow our presence of agricultural related content during this month when so many other campaigns are going on. And I just felt that this year, with such an increased use of social media, thanks
Mm,
to it, we have even more followers than we have ever had before, and many. I would say about 2/3 of them are considered our non-agricultural audience. So we just have a perfect opportunity to get online and really use a variety of resources and techniques and partnerships like the one we have with you with the Farm Traveler to just help raise awareness for the water quality issues themselves, and just driving home that message that farmers and ranchers care deeply about the environment. And here are specific stories that we can share to show you what they're doing to not only protect the water but actually clean it up in most cases.
there you go. Yeah, I know. Like, there's been a lot of water quality issues right now with like red tide and all that stuff going on, and I've seen a lot of message boards talking about. Some people will say it's farmers, and then some people say it's residents also because we're all trying to get that perfect lawn. And so it's. Do you think that the average consumer thinks that all the water problems we have here in Florida is because of farmers?
I think there is definitely a lot of media and a lot of hype that has targeted farmers. I do think over the last year or so, septics have become a
Hmm.
part of that conversation, which has lessened the target towards farmers and ranchers. I also think our land grant institution has done a really good job of bringing the science. Like anytime there's a red tide case, next thing you're seeing on your news feed the science from IFAS talking about, hey, this is really how red tide is, how it begins. It starts out in the Gulf and then it moves inland. It's not necessarily being caused from a inland issue itself. So I think there's definitely a target, but we do have some good allies who are coming to our assistance for sure.
Well, that's good. So, what are some ways that farmers are kind of saving water here in Florida? I mean, I know I've talked to a bunch of farmers here in the state, and our soil is not perfect. It's very sandy, and so any water that goes in, it's usually going to not stay there for long. And so, water is super hard to get. It's going to evaporate because it's so hot here. So, what are some tools farmers are doing to kind of save water? Because it's, I'm sure, a very hard process to do.
Yeah, so the technologies for saving water just continue to advance and become even more accessible to producers. So, really, since the last time we talked, soil moisture sensors have become, I mean, just a normal thing, a normal standard for a farmer or a rancher even to have on their property and use as a tool to monitor water use and hopefully dial in that practice. I do think it's important to always remind folks, though, that just like us as homeowners are always watching our water consumption, we don't want that electric bill to continue
Hmm.
to rise based on water use. Farmers are the same way. They're having to pay for those pumps to run, for those center pivots to use electricity and pump out water. And so it really is part of being a good business owner and having to, or in an attempt to reduce cost, to really watch how they're using water because it relates to their bottom line. And so, they're very careful because they don't want to pay for something that really is not doing anything but causing damage, right? Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. And in this case, if you're over irrigating, you're not going to get your yield. You're going to have erosion and risk of erosion. And so, there definitely is just that general understanding that, like any good business owner or even a homeowner, like in my example, they're very cognizant of the amount of money they're spending to pump water and how it ultimately affects their crops and their bottom line. Um, I will say though that we have seen a lot of producers really invest in um, with their irrigation systems, nozzles. So, exactly where the water, drips out of the pipe, where, is it hitting the roots? Is it hitting the top of the plant? Really pinpointing where that water needs to go. And so by investing in, the most up to date and innovative type nozzles, whether you're growing strawberries or you've got a pivot and you're growing potatoes, whatever it is, using those low flow nozzles and just like I said, those new technologies really allow farmers to dial in their water use.
Gotcha. And that makes me think of, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago, the tree teepee on Shark Tank. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that was a Florida farmer, wasn't it?
It was. It was. He's actually from my hometown.
Oh, no way. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it was such a
Yeah.
cool idea. He made this little thing that went around the trunks of like an orange grove, and it keeps the water from evaporating. It keeps the
Mm-hmm.
water from overspraying. And so, I mean, that's such a cool thing, and that's something farmers are doing to help reduce water runoff and evaporation. That's so cool. He's from your hometown too. Small world.
Oh yeah, yeah. The 4R program. When you said that helps me relate to that program as well. That has really become such a hit with our producers. And David Royal helps head up that program throughout the state, and he's got a lot of partnerships to help producers understand. Not only water use but fertilizer and chemical use, and
Mm,
it's really just a comprehensive set of practices that they're getting to learn about from him.
I can imagine. Yeah, I remember that went viral. I mean, years ago, and it was one of those
Mm-hmm.
things where it goes viral, and the whole industry is like, yes, this is the good content that needs to go viral.
Mm-hmm.
And the great part is that, I mean, everybody on Shark Tank loved him. They were like, "You're so ingenuitive. This is such a good product." And
Mm-hmm.
he made a deal on there, didn't he?
He did.
Hey, that's not bad. What was
He
his name?
did.
I got to look him up. And hey, that
Um,
could be another guest
oh
for the show.
gosh.
Not to put you on the spot.
No, and I just had his name on the tip of my tongue too. Oh, I feel so bad. He and my dad are good friends. Oh, I feel so bad. I can't
Oh, no,
remember.
you're good. I'm googling
I'll
it.
give it a
Let's
minute.
see. I just typed in citrus tree guy TP. Johnny Georges of Arcadia.
Johnny George's. Thank you.
Hey, there we go. All right, I'm gonna have to reach out to him, have him on the show. That's so
Yes, he would
cool.
love that.
So yeah, you brought up something kind of helping reduce like sprinklers and stuff. Anytime I'm going around and running errands, I can't tell you how many times I see like at the hospital today, for example. I was driving by and the sprinklers were on when it was
Mhm.
raining at 1 p.m. and it's been on like that a bunch. And is there anything that Farm Bureau is kind of doing to help consumers kind of figure out how that they can reduce their own water footprint? I guess.
Yeah, so Farm Bureau definitely partners with UF IFAS,
Mm,
especially at the local level. I will say that our county farm bureaus do a great job of partnering with their local extension offices, and the Florida Friendly Landscape Program is, just been such a help for homeowners, and it certainly is a resource
mm.
for our county farm bureaus to use even as well. But I think it ultimately just stems back to the need for general education. I know that Farm Bureau tries to accomplish this, especially through policy and implementation of policy. And so, there's definitely, um, our take on where we stand and where we think there's opportunities for consumers to do a better job with their lawns and their landscapes. But I definitely am going to default to Florida Friendly Landscape because they have the better messaging, and they've been able to really reach a lot of parts of our state with that program.
That's awesome. Yeah, the consumer side of IFAS is always super cool to learn more about. I mean, there's programs for
Mhm.
teaching kids like how to eat better, after school programs and stuff like that. Of course, there's 4-H, and then there's like the Florida friendly landscapes, which is actually really cool. I had a friend, Daniel Leonard. He's the IFAS director
Yeah.
in Calhoun County. Yeah, I've learned a lot from him. Had him on the show a couple of times. So
Mhm.
yeah, IFAS is awesome. So are there any examples that you can tell us of farmers that are doing some great things with water quality that you guys are trying to kind of showcase throughout the state?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I really want to focus on just one example for today, if that's okay. So, with our plans for this water quality campaign, it's a 5 week campaign. It'll run the entire month of August, and it literally runs right up to our Swanee Cares event that we host every year that we had to reschedule due to COVID. But hopefully, we'll be able to do in person, but it'll be just such a good momentum builder. But it has been a while since we have debuted any new highlight videos that feature specific producers and their families. And the one that we are debuting next Monday, so August 2nd, bright and early in the morning, we are debuting a story featuring a father and son from St. Lucie County down in southeast Florida. They're just northeast of the lake, so very close to Lake Okeechobee, down there in the middle of all of the water quality issues.
Hmm.
And for oh my gosh, now almost 6 decades. Mr. Brant Sherrard Sr. as well as his son Brant Sherrard Jr. have worked together ever since the Sherrard family came to Florida and started a career in agriculture, specifically in citrus production. Mr. Brant Sr. Purchased property there in St. Lucie County, and as he, really grew his production and his operation, he saw an opportunity to work with the state of Florida, to work with his local water management district to help protect the resources and the wildlife and the land itself on their property. And
Hmm.
so he has been involved with major citrus corporations like Blue Goose Growers. Mr. Brant and his son, Brant Jr., have, just for their whole careers, have been intentional about protecting water quality on their family's property. They very much consider it a preserve, and the property, as you'll see in the video, actually backs up to Quail Creek Plantation, which is known for all of the wildlife and the game that get brought in. It's obviously used for a hunting and sporting lodge and things like that. But when you get out onto the Sherrard's property, you will actually see a series of reservoirs that are very different than retention ponds. So they're not, their purpose is not to just hold water, but to actually help move water and filter it. And so, I mean, there will be reservoirs that are several miles in size. I mean, they're just massive. And it will take you, 30 minutes to drive around the
Oh
whole
wow, that's
or,
crazy. Okay.
you'll see, yeah, you'll see in the video. It's so cool. They're large, heads of trees, cypress heads, and just so much native vegetation that as water is getting pumped in, and so I think it's important. I need to address, where is this water coming from? Well, it's coming off of their citrus groves.
Mm.
It's coming also from neighboring landowners. And so as water is coming in, and it most likely contains some type of excessive nutrient of some kind, as it moves throughout these series of reservoirs, it is it is getting trapped and it's getting filtered out in a way that is, literally cleaning it up. And once the water is done traveling and moving throughout each reservoir, it is then pumped out off the property, and it goes into one of the major sea canals that goes over to the coast and then empties out into the ocean. And so I think it's just such an incredible story to share, because here, this is a father and son who have been in the citrus industry their whole lives. It's what their family has grown up around, but they are so much more than citrus growers. And, when I sat down and started preparing this campaign, I thought back to a CARES recipient by the name of Ken Harrison, who's actually from my hometown as well. He said to me a few years back, he said, Casey, I am 90% land manager and I'm 10% cattle rancher.
Mm.
Just that has stuck with me from that very day, because I've always just assumed that cattle ranching, something that takes work on a daily basis, but it really is the management of our resources. And so for this story of the Sherrard family, this father and son, to go out on family property every day and work to protect wildlife, work to protect their habitats, work to literally clean up, I'm talking millions of gallons of water every time those pumps turn on and that water is getting moved throughout those reservoirs. I think that is just such an incredible story that needs to be told. It's not just worth being told, but it needs to be told. And so it really is kind of the head of this entire campaign, and it's why we're, kicking it off at the beginning, and then we're going to follow it up with, just some other major activities that are really important to our cause and to uh, the reason why we're celebrating this month. But um, I think for me, when we talk about improving water quality or protecting water quality, I don't know that I can find a better example than what the Sherrard family is doing. And I'm just so proud that they allowed us to capture their story. And it was so sweet, because Mr. Brant Jr., the only reason he agreed to let me come do this video with him is so that he could honor his father.
Mm.
And oftentimes in agriculture, especially when we talk about environmental stewardship, we're trying to leave things better for the future. And in this case, Brant Jr. is certainly trying to work to preserve the land and its resources so that his kids can one day take over. But at the same time, he's also continuing the work that he's doing to honor what his father has been able to accomplish as well. So just an incredible story. They're an incredible family, and I can tell you even more about them. But yeah, we can also talk about what else we're doing with the campaign too.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome operation to kind of kick things off with. I mean, they're essentially doing like a super huge natural filter for the water instead of just like letting it run off. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, what are some other examples? I mean, that one's gonna be hard to beat. I mean, that's so cool, and I think that more consumers need to know
Mhm.
about that one for sure.
Yeah, so we really have what we've put together, and we'll definitely share this once the episode airs. We'll share the calendar, but we're really just trying to feature not only our program's efforts to raise awareness for water quality, but we are also trying to promote American Farm Bureau and their sustainability initiative. They've got a lot of great resources on their website. It features specific members from across the nation as well. So I definitely want folks to check that out. But really, during week 2 and week 3, you're going to see us feature very specific recipients, and they're all different. I really tried to go in and find examples of practices that are all different from one another. So, excuse me, we're going to kick things off on Tuesday the 10th. We're going to feature Likes Brothers, which is down in South Florida as well. Again, another major water quality treatment project. Their project specifically cleans up septic water.
Mm.
So septic water coming from the Kissimmee Basin down into their treatment areas, and they're cleaning up that water. So again, one of those stories I just feel like we have to tell. But then we're going to also talk about folks that are using solar energy, like Ben White up in the Panhandle, Anna Jameson in Sumter County, who is using recycling on water with her greenhouses. They're a citrus nursery. Traders Hill up in Nassau County. They have an aquaponics operation. So again, they're not only doing the whole recycling effort, but they're also taking efforts to clean that water up while feeding their plants at the same time. So it's really neat. And so then the following week, excuse me, we've got another set of recipients that, again, are just using different technologies on their farms.
That's really neat. I always love. I might be a little bit biased because I've always been in Florida, but I love the diversity of Florida agriculture. I mean, you've got timber farms up here that have water issues. You've got aquaponics throughout the state. You've got orange groves, beef cattle operations. I mean, every operation in Florida is going to be different, and I feel like they are all having their own kind of issues when it comes to water. But do you feel like there's one part of the state that has more issues than the other?
I definitely think South Florida has a very large target on it. Excuse me. I hope you can edit that
Oh
cough
yeah,
out.
no, you're good. You're good.
I definitely think that South Florida definitely has a large target on it. I mean, every time guys like Brian Mast get out in the media, or the governor is coming down to help, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to be in support of a cleanup project down there. The media seems to really monopolize on that area, but at the same time, there are water quality issues in other parts of the state. I think our water management districts do a great job of helping assist producers with projects through cost share and through grants and different programs they have to help them implement efforts that clean up the water or dial in their fertilizer and chemical use and things like that. Um, we definitely, you know, the Farm Bureau as an organization supports IFAS and their efforts to just continue to improve research and serve as a resource for producers as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you've got to think about South Florida. There's so many more people in South Florida. Of course, you get Miami, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and also there's a lot more people down there. There's also a lot of farms down there, so there's a lot of people down there fighting over water. And then up here in the Panhandle, we've got the Apalachicola, and for as long as I've known, there's been a huge water war going on between Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. And
Mm-hmm.
so when that water is coming down from Atlanta, if they shut off the dam to get more water for people in Atlanta, then we're kind of screwed down here. Like we don't get nearly as much water, and it affects not only the residents but also farms up here. So there's so many issues going on that I feel like the normal consumer doesn't know about, but the typical farmer here in Florida is hindered by a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, absolutely, and ultimately, farmers and ranchers are already, we hate to use the word regulated, but are
Mm,
already, combating regulations and are already dealing with, just how burdensome those can be. And so they're trying to get involved in as many voluntary programs as possible. But as our industry continues to change, as our government continues to change, farmers and ranchers are just some of the most resilient people that you and I both know. And so, we're confident that they will adapt, but it does always come at a cost. And it is hard that, here folks in your area, they're already having to, honor the water permit that they have, but to be told, hey, you've been given your permit, but you really can't use it.
mm,
Uh, it's got to be very disheartening. And, I've specifically seen a lot of those dryland farmers that when it doesn't rain, I mean, the crop just, can't grow to its maximum yield like they need it to. And, and so I think from a regulatory standpoint and even just a mother nature standpoint, the challenge just is endless.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a very, very good point. So if a farmer wanted to improve their water quality, if they wanted to somehow address it, what would you recommend for them? Like reach out to IFAS, reach out to Farm Bureau, reach out and see what their farming friends are doing. What would be your advice there?
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of it is technology and the lovely World Wide Web gives us resources at the tips of our fingers. But I would definitely, encourage producers to reach out to their county farm bureaus because they're going to be able to connect them to their land grant, to, that local governmental staff who oversees that region. They're going to kind of know who to get connected with. And so, we definitely partner, especially our CARES program. We partner with the Department of Agriculture's Best Management Practices program through
Hmm.
Office of Water Policy. Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, can't.
Uh,
Too difficult.
and so we definitely have a partnership with them for the BMP program, and that of course assists producers. But then in addition to that, you have a lot of your IFAS programs that just help give good quality research and recommendations, and then they're also a part of those BMP manuals.
So if people want to follow and if they want to see what's going on with Water Quality Month, if they want to follow the CARES program, where can they go to kind of see all this content and learn more about what Florida Farm Bureau and even really what Florida farmers are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, definitely check out thisfarmcares.org as well as floridafarmbureau.org. Obviously, social media, you can access, the most current information and campaigns that we're doing across our platforms. So, our handle is This Farm Cares. And then Florida Farm Bureau's handle is FLA Farm Bureau. But in regards to Water Quality Month, I don't want to forget that one of the really exciting things that we're doing on the 16th, 23rd, and 30th, which are all Mondays, we are having Instagram takeovers. So people definitely will want to tune in as they see real producers in action. We have one producer that will be on the Hill in DC lobbying for Water Quality Month to his elected officials. We'll have Miss Brittany Lee out on her family's blueberry farm, taking us around looking at her recovery system, which is a very large water recycling. I think I said it correctly. Oh gosh, sorry, it just lost me. Okay, sorry. So yeah, Brittany Lee, her family's blueberry farm. They have a huge water quality and water recycling program,
Mm.
but then also Dr. Charles Barrett, as well as the Swanee River Partnership coordinator Kelly All, and a lot of the IFAS staff up in Live Oak at the Swanee Valley Research Center. They are going to be doing a takeover as well to show us all the different research projects that they have going on up in Live Oak. So those takeovers, especially on Instagram and then the Facebook stories, each Monday will be really cool to follow.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love watching Instagram takeovers because you'll follow this page. Like I'm pretty sure I follow Farm Bureau on Farm Traveler, and every now and then it'll be a random farmer or something that's doing a takeover, and you really get to see like what's going on. And
Mm-hmm.
then of course you can follow them on social media, and usually they're doing a great job also of
Mm-hmm.
highlighting what's going on. So I know social media sometimes gets a bad rap, but I feel like it's been super powerful for farmers because you can actually see firsthand what's going on.
Absolutely. I've seen lately on TikTok. I don't do TikToks. Please let me press. But I have seen where farmers are taking to TikTok because that is that younger generation that really is now 4 and 5 generations removed from the farm. And they're making these videos where they basically show you how to not farm peanuts. And then by the end of the video, they help clarify, hey, this chemical that got sprayed in my face, this, you see, it didn't harm me. It's not going to harm the peanuts, so it's not going to harm the product that you're going to eat at the end of the day. And just really cool ways to educate on a platform that is so trendy right now.
Yeah, it's super trendy. I haven't made any TikToks yet. I don't understand it, but it's
Oh, you
super
should.
helpful. Yeah, we should. I know one of our past guests, Shay Myers, he does all the onion stuff, and he has I think like 2 or 3 million followers on TikTok or something. He's got like tens
Wow.
of millions of views. It's crazy. There's a business out there, I'm
I
sure.
will share his then.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, he's pretty good. All right. Well, Casey, I'm excited to see what happens with National Water Quality Month with Farm Bureau. Super excited to see what Florida farmers are doing. I know times have been crazy with COVID, so I'm glad we're slowly getting the swing of things. And I hope everything kind of continues to go well with you guys. And can't wait to see all the great content you're going to make out this month. And excited to follow along.
Yes, well, thank you, Trevor. We appreciate being able to partner with you on this, and we definitely will give you as much shout out as we can and help promote your podcast. We think it is such a valuable resource and tool for our members. So many of them have told me they listen to your podcast. So
Oh, that's awesome. Thank
when you
you.
come back for a second episode, we'll get some more followers for you too.
Deal. Yeah, heck yeah. That's awesome. All right. Well,
Well, thank
Casey,
you.
best of luck and can't wait to see what you guys are going to do. So we'll be in touch.
Appreciate it. Thank you.